Hello, folks. I'm Bob Kitchen, one of the owners here at Maple Hill Golf, and you're listening to the official podcast of Maple Hill, the Hill Unscripted. Every 2 weeks, I'll bring you the real talk from inside the golf world, insight, stories, and conversations that matter to you as a golfer and a valued part of the Maple Hill family. Hello, everyone. Once again, here, Bob Kitchen from the Hill Unscripted studio. I've got some special guests today. I'll get into these two gentlemen here in just a moment. What I want to talk about first, kind of the icebreaker, I always like to talk about a little bit of golf. So my brother was fortunate enough this past week to go to Richmond, Virginia. He got to play in the Pro-Am, and he, by the grace of God, he got this guy named Alex Cheka, spelled Sejka, and we actually met him years ago at the Callaway Performance Institute in Carlsbad, California, where Callaway's located. They have this beautiful driving range there and all this high-performance testing equipment. It was the Ely Callaway Performance Institute or something like that. So we got to meet Alex, and Andy got him, which he won the week before. And Andy said, "Didn't you used to have long hair, Alex?" And he's like, "Yeah, I sure did. I used to have," he kind of looked like Tommy Fleetwood back in the day. And Alex Cheka told my brother, he's like, "Yeah, that was back when I was young and good looking. Now I'm just good looking," which I think is also a killer joke and a pretty good icebreaker. So Andy got to play with him. He said the guy was absolutely awesome, super fun. His round wasn't super serious, but Andy and the other four guys in the group was pretty serious. They had to play a shamble off the tee, and Andy actually birdied the first hole and parred the second hole. So he had, but like Ernie Els' team won, but the list of names that played in the event, Justin Leonard won the event as far as the actual pro that won. Ernie Els' team won. But the list of names, Vijay Singh, and was just incredible. Andy sent me the list of all the guys that played, and it was just awesome. So shout out to Bag Boy and Perry Hilbert and that group that brought Andy out there. And Andy got this really cool experience out of it. And I had to bring that up and just say, hey, these guys in the Champions Tour, they're still good golfers. Bernhard Langer is still, he's old, right? But the guy can play. I mean,
68.
He's 68 years old. Is that what yeah, I mean, they're just phenomenal. So, anyhow, really, really cool. I wanted to bring that up. Andy got this really cool experience. If you see Andy or you know him, message him, whatever, you can ask him a little bit about that. He said it was top 3 days of his life is what he said. And he's got awesome. 2 kids. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it's the third. I don't know. Who knows? But anyhow, enough about that. We want to move on. The reason we're here today, we've got 2 of the best instructors in the state of Michigan here sitting with me. So Mr. Terry Ernst and Mr. Jeff Caminiti. Been friends with these guys for a long time. Jeff and I grew up together. Terry was on the other side of the state, and I can let them get into a little bit of their history and how they became Maple Hill employees and then kind of what's happened since then. So Terry, you're sitting closest to me. I think I'll start with you, and then we'll move on to Jeff. So kind of your background in golf and like how long you've been working at Maple Hill and all that kind of thing.
Well, do you want the long version or the short version? So
the show's only half an hour, T.
I'm 64, so I got a lot of history.
Right.
No, grew up in the golf business when I was young. Worked for a couple of golf professionals, Mike Kernicke and Dick Stewart. Dick Stewart was in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, a legend.
Yeah. Spent a couple of years at Western, and then went to North Carolina for a few years. Became a head pro down there. After a couple of years, moved back to Michigan on the east side of the state, a place called Verona Hills, semi-private club. Spent 25 years of our life there. Had a couple girls. They came to Grand Rapids, went to college, and the decision was made to come over here in 2010. And speaking to some of the sales reps, I asked about, if I wanted to get out of the club side of the business and get more into teaching and fitting, where would you go? And they said, talk to Bob and Andy Kitchen at Maple Hill.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I called in November, said we're coming over to have Thanksgiving with the kids, I said, can I send you a resume?
Yeah.
You said, no, just come on in. Let's sit down and shake hands and see what happens. And,
Was it Dykema that we met through?
Yeah.
Bob Dykema?
Yeah.
Our old Callaway rep, who's rest in peace. And then his son, Mike Dykema, is our current Callaway rep. And Bob was, in my opinion, he was so good at his job. You guys both know Bob.
Yeah.
Knew Bob very well.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what made him so good at his job is he knew people more than he knew his product. He knew all that, but he worked for lots of different companies. And we'll get into this a little bit because of how good you guys are at your job. And I've talked about why you guys are so good at your job. And we'll get into that. But I think one of the biggest things is knowing people and knowing what the right fit is. And like what Bob's gift was knowing this guy is going to work out perfect at this spot, and like that kind of a thing. And when you're teaching people, we'll get into this, but when you're teaching people, knowing who you're giving a lesson to and how to relay that information is just as important as knowing what the hell you're actually talking about.
100%.
So keep going, Terry.
No, he was a fabulous individual.
So that's how we met, was through one of our sales reps that knew you and knew Terry was a stand-up guy, and by the grace of God and Bob Dykemo, we're sitting here. So
exactly.
It was a great. So you've been with us for 15 years, 16
since 2010.
Yeah.
You were very kind of you to bring me on staff. Enjoy what I do. Enjoy teaching. Enjoy fitting.
I still remember funny. Like you had like Memorial Day or off or Labor Day or something like that. Like first Memorial Day off I've had in 26 years. Well, you're like, holy hell! I didn't know people got holidays off. Like that, most people, not in the golf business, but regular folks do.
You know as well as I do that back in the day, especially at clubs, those holidays are times for your membership, right? Tournaments. Come out and play. You got to be there on staff, and I mean, 4th of July, Labor Day, Memorial Day. It doesn't matter. Those are just another Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the golf business. Saturday and Sunday mean nothing in the golf business, as you know. So, so came here in 2010. Been here ever since. Certainly enjoyed being here. A lot of great people, and obviously worked with this gentleman for a few years on the lesson tee together, and talked about a lot about the golf swing, and helped each other out several times, and. No, it's been fabulous. I love it.
Yeah. So you basically have done retail here. You've done club fitting, and you do instruction.
Correct.
You helped out with the junior program some.
Correct. I did the junior academy for the last 4 or 5 years. We do usually 2 academies. This year we did 4.
Yeah. It's still kind of growing.
Yeah, that's the 12 to 18-year-olds.
Yeah. A little more advanced.
Yeah, it's been good. Been very good.
Yeah, we give some of our other instructors, some of the really novice kids that are just kind of getting rolling into it, and we give you a little more advanced because that's kind of what you are. So, is there anything else you want to add, or we'll move over to this
I'm good.
handsome devil, Mr. Jeff Caminiti? So Jeff and I met. I think we were in high school, probably.
High school, yeah.
So
I think you were a year ahead of me in high school.
96.
Yep, 97.
Yeah. And we were competing schools, and I think at that time I might even beat Jeff once or twice, which is my claim to fame.
You beat me in King of the Hill as well, so
let's
not forget that.
I was getting 30 strokes. Whatever, I won. So anyhow, so but you didn't start working here. I mean, I obviously had sold your dad $1 zillion worth of golf clubs.
Well, you sold my dad's stuff. You sold me my first set of ping irons. So I bought my first set of clubs from you.
Yeah. So, but then you started off here and there before I could actually convince you to come work at Maple Hill.
Yeah. Well, I got in the golf business in 2000, and I actually worked at Railside, where your dad's been a member for
since it opened.
And I was actually just saying to these guys that had good memories of like him coming up to the window, with the stocking cap and Reverend Rhodes in June, and he didn't stop in the pro shop. He just kind of gave us the wave. Yep, head to the first tee.
So, a man of few words. Unless he's on this show, then he actually talks.
Yes. But yeah. So, but yeah, worked at Railside, and then. But then I came here in 2005.
Okay.
And I had just a little stint, worked, here and there with you guys. You guys were kind enough to bring me on. And then I did have a couple of club pro jobs that I worked through the business. But then I was back here in 2012, came and talked with you, and you brought me back on here, and I was here for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And when you came back, you were one of the only employees I've ever hired back. We've hired plenty of people back, right?
Yeah.
People leave and they come back, and they like it here, and it's usually sometimes it's freedom driven, sometimes it's financially driven. But when you came back, I said, all right, Jeff, I'd like you to work retail this, and I'd like you to, fit this, and you can give instruction. And you're like, well, I really just want to fit and give instruction. I'm like, okay, well, I'll pay you this, or I'll pay you lower. And you're like, I'll take the lower pay. I really just want to fit and give lessons. And I think that really has just been your passion and your calling for a long time. I think that's helping people is maybe on a little bit elevated level is kind of what you're best at, or what you feel like you're contributing the most with.
Yeah.
And I think that you, when you were here doing fittings and all that stuff, obviously you were fantastic. No different than Terry and Dub, and we've got a great staff now. But and of course you've always loved kids. and
Yeah.
helping that whole program too.
Yeah,
So,
I was fortunate enough to get to do the awesome junior program that's here. It's amazing, best probably in the Midwest, and to be able to do that. And then, well, the fitting thing was a great opportunity that you gave me to, because it was, the launch kitchen was just starting at the time.
Yep.
And you'd said to me when we were talking about that, said, well, okay, a good spot for you would not be necessarily just in selling clubs, but like in fitting. And we're starting up this launch kitchen, and so gave me the opportunity to be able to do that. And that was a huge learning curve and thing that I was so grateful to be able to learn that whole side of the business.
yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, yeah, we didn't know anything at the time, right? We were just getting rolling. TrackMan was around, but nobody really knew what the hell, and we didn't really know just how much technology would take this sport over, right? Like,
Yep.
it's kind of happened with baseball. You watch
Yeah.
launch angle and velocity now, right? They're tracking that in baseball, how hard these guys are hitting it and exit launch angle and all this
Well,
stuff.
you sent us out to Chicago with Scott Maxim, the three of us,
Yeah.
Terry, me, and Scott, and to the TrackMan University where
That's
we
right,
got
TrackMan,
certified
yeah.
for that and learned a lot through that experience.
Exactly.
So.
You remember back in the day when we first started TrackMan that we had the net in the back of the store on the
Oh, yeah.
right-hand side with the TrackMan set up in
Yeah.
the computer.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Laptop.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's when we started TrackMan.
Yeah.
And we had a crappy system before
It was
that.
not a
Flight
good
Scope
system.
or something?
No, it wasn't Flight Scope. It was I can't remember the name of it, but it wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
wasn't good.
It broke all the time.
It broke all the time.
That's
It
where
sucked.
we started. The TrackMan was back there in the corner and
Yeah.
just hitting into a
Yeah.
net, but it gave us all the specs that we needed, all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
information.
yeah. Right.
Uh,
Just you're hitting
Yeah.
into a net, and it was pretty,
Yeah.
very basic.
Yeah.
It's like what somebody might put in their garage.
Right.
Yep.
Now we've
Yep.
come up with obviously our TrackMan room up front here that we've had
Yeah.
since 2012 or 13.
Somewhere in there.
13,
Yeah.
14, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now we have a second room in the back.
Exactly
It's
right.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you guys definitely helped pioneer all that and helped me through it. Like when we
Yeah.
raised the floor and all the different things we did
Yeah.
there to make it right, and the putter fitting studio too.
Correct.
Because I kind of knew my vision, but I didn't really know how to get there. So
It was
I
a
know I
learning
put a
curve.
lot on your
Yeah.
plate, and I'm sure Terry helped you
Yes.
quite a bit as well.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
So then, since then, Jeff, kind of moving into more recent history, like we kind of parted ways.
Yep.
And what was it now? 5 years ago?
It was right around 2020.
2020.
Yeah, 2020, 21, somewhere in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I built my own facility. It was kind of during COVID
Mm-hmm.
that I did that, and I was actually just talking with Terry about this the other day. That a good chunk of the reason why I was ever even able to do that was because of the amount of book of business that I could build up just working here at Maple Hill. And we'll forever be grateful for that. And so, but yeah, I built my own facility that you've come to see.
Yeah.
And so I just teach full time. My passion to teach full time and out of there. So
Right,
that's
out of your
what I do
house,
now.
basically.
Yeah.
It's built behind your house, which is great.
Yeah. Short
So
commute
yeah,
to work.
yeah. We've obviously remained our friendship the
Yep.
entire time, and I don't get to see it nearly as much as I'd like to, because we always laugh. And
We don't get to quote as much Anchorman.
Anchorman quotes,
together
exactly
as much.
right. the beard of Zeus. All those funny things. So, but obviously, like everyone that you fit, and you if they need clubs or they need to change this or change that, you're obviously sending them to Maple Hill. We've been
Yeah.
friends from that for a
do.
long time, and there's not a ton of options, but there's a few options in town. So I
Yep.
appreciate you continuing to do that.
Absolutely.
So I know, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but one of the years you guys both got to the finalists, like top 10 teachers in the state or something like that. You guys both made it too.
He was in the top 3.
Yeah, you made it to
I
the
didn't-
top 3.
And I never.
But you had something where you didn't get like the best thing because you didn't have some qualification.
Yeah,
for
there was a
PGA.
qualification to get to the Nationals that you had to go to the PGA Coaching and Teaching Summit in Orlando, and I hadn't been to that, and so that was part of the reason. But it was still an honor to be able to get, in the top 3,
Yeah,
in the PGA section. So
Yeah.
that's an honor. So
And then 26, 27 Golf Digest Best Teachers for the state of Michigan. Jeff was honored with that, which is just fantastic. So congratulations,
thank
dude.
you. Yeah,
And
very
well
cool.
earned and well deserved too. Like you and I always had a similar vision as far as like what your teaching was capable of, but you always like, well, I don't want to charge any more than this. I don't want to charge any more than that.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jeff, you're really good at this. People really like you. Like, and no different than Terry. But like we had to kind of push you a little bit and kind of get you kind of to where I thought you should be. And then obviously you've done it on your own and you're making a living. So that's fantastic. And I think you guys also both helped push Maple Hill to be a top 100 fitter in the country, and there's only 3 in the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
There's 1 in Detroit, 1 in Ann Arbor, and us. So like all these other places that do fittings around town, they're not top 100. They don't have all the accolades Maple Hill has, and you guys both paved the way. You're still here, and you definitely helped pave the way for what we are, and most of our fitters you worked with, right? You worked with Dub and some of the other guys that have been in and out of here, and some of them have left and come back, and that kind of a thing too. So, as far as lessons go, if people want to contact you, we'll put your contact up on the thing. We'll put your guys' direct emails on there if anybody wants to email Jeff or Terry and actually set up a lesson or figure out like what the program is. And one of the most common questions I get is, well, how many lessons should I take? And that's such a loaded question, right? So it's like, how often are you going to practice? Right? How good do you want to be? You and I have talked about that in depth. I've talked about it with you as well. Like certain people have certain ceilings, right? So I mean, would you agree with that statement?
Absolutely,
Like
100%.
there's only so, and how are you trying to break 80? Or are you trying to break, trying to shoot even? Or are you trying to break 100 or just not embarrass yourself in a scramble? Like
How much time are they going to commit to getting better?
Exactly right.
Right. Practice makes perfect. I mean, and you have to practice with a purpose, right?
Yeah.
The idea is just don't go to the range and hit 100 balls and not work on anything.
Yeah.
It's working on something specific that we've worked with you on to make that change. If you don't make the change, you don't get better. That's the golf swing, right?
Yeah.
The golf swing is making it more repeatable.
So even myself, who have been golfing since I was 34 years, I suppose, since I was 13.
Long time.
Well, yeah, many moons. Last year I sucked so bad. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And my dad's gone all winter. Normally I would have my dad around, but my dad's been gone for the winters for a long time. So I told Terry, I said, hey, we got to sit down and go through my golf swing. And like, I just keep towing everything. I can't stop towing it. And so Terry gave me some swing thoughts, and I took maybe, 3 or 4 lessons over this past winter. So my point is this. Not just that Terry and Jeff are great instructors. I've golfed my whole life. I've golfed forever. And people, I don't know if I can get any better. Well, I can tell you what. I had a great year of golf this year. I started getting the swing on plane. I had a few different minorly major mistakes in my swing that I just couldn't figure out until somebody could really tell me and help me correct as far as ball position and making sure my angle of attack was correct and all that. So no matter who you are, no matter how good or bad you are, you can get better. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to be slightly painful. I mean,
sometimes,
sometimes you got to tear down slightly to rebuild slightly.
Sometimes you get worse before you get better.
Yeah. My dad told me that when I was in high school, when I was learning how to from a cut to a draw and getting the club face square. He said, you're going to have one really bad year. And
That was in your last podcast, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. I had one really bad year, and I did. And then the next year I came out and started smashing the golf ball.
Well, to your earlier point too, like I even on my website, I won't have a package that they can buy right away just because I want to have that first conversation with them.
Right.
And to talk about what you're just saying, like, well, what are your goals? What do you want to do? How much time do you have to devote to this? And that's set something up realistically for you, because not everybody plays this game for the same reason.
Correct.
Right. And so I'm not trying to turn everybody into a tour pro, or sometimes you say you're working with the gal just says, hey, I just want to play with my husband and my son and just play along and what can I do?
Whatever their goal is, right?
Yeah. What's their goal? And you're trying to customize, to your point earlier of I'm customizing and listening to you to what you want, and let's make it about you and what you want. I don't necessarily have a system that you're going to have to fit into in order to get better. Let's just figure out what you want first.
Right. Right. And a question I have for you, Jeff, is what percentage, you deal with a lot of young people still, like quite a few, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people talk about you for sure, so I figured you're doing that.
Yeah.
What percentage of your clientele is female, and how much has that grown in the last, call it 5 years?
I would still say, majority is male, but it is growing. Between, high school players, college players, but then just women, middle-aged women who just want to pick up the game or whatever. I'm going to roughly say 20%, possibly.
One out of 5?
Yeah, and it is growing a little bit just because so many more people, more women, more kids are just playing the game of golf.
Would you say about the same thing, T?
Yeah, I'd agree with that, especially since COVID. We've seen more families get involved, more kids outdoor. So yeah, I've seen more women get involved in the game in the last 5 years or so.
Yes.
Well,
than became.
I have seen girls golf
Yes.
in particular improve drastically
Very
in this
much so.
area. And
Very
like
much
you're
so.
you're out here in Hudsonville technically,
Yep.
but Hudsonville,
Yep.
Byron Center, Caledonia,
Yep.
like these kind of perimeter cities from Grand Rapids kind of have improved a ton. And like Carmen's daughter's on the Byron Center team, and they got that team is awesome. They just
Yep.
took 8th in the state, and they got one senior. But they have, I think, 3 seniors, but one massively contributing senior, and the rest of them are young.
Yeah.
So like they got a bright future ahead of them. And these guys that have daughters, man, just get your girls involved. It's the sport of life. You can go out and play with your
Yes.
husband later, and
It's grown so much.
It's grown so much.
And a lot of that does come from they start young, like in junior programs, right?
Yes.
And so, hey, this golf's for this game of golf's for everyone. Come out and play. Bring your friends. Do this, and then yeah, the opportunities that they have in high school golf, college golf, to be able to play. It's grown so much.
Yeah.
So
Think how much girls golf has grown in the last 10 years in school.
Yeah.
The guys always play in the spring, but now the girls start in August. So typically when school's out in June is when I start to see, I'm sure you do too,
Yeah.
a lot of young girls wanting to make the golf team in
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
You didn't have that 10 years ago.
No.
There weren't a lot of high school girls golf teams. Now there are.
Exactly right.
yeah, I
Exactly
still
right.
remember when my daughter Kayla went out for the golf team at Hudsonville her freshman year, and I brought her there, and I remember there had to have been 25, 30 girls all just gathered around the coach. And I remember just watching that going, that's awesome.
Right.
That is awesome.
That didn't
to
happen
see this much
10
interest.
years ago. It
No,
did not happen.
It didn't. No.
It was you'd be praying to make a team of
Yeah.
maybe 8, and
Yeah.
now you got 20 something. That's
Yep.
a big school. Your
Yeah.
daughter goes to
Hudsonville.
which is a huge school.
Yeah.
And your daughter works here.
She works here now.
And she's
It's come full
awesome.
circle. It's
Yeah,
come full
exactly.
circle. The
We got one
Caminiti-
Caminiti.
Yeah, we
story.
can't get rid of the
Yeah.
Caminiti, so we're still
She,
in.
she
in the
really does a
system.
great job. We didn't even talk about
thank
that
you.
before, but your daughter really does a great job. But I'm not too surprised. I'm sure she's just like her mom.
Very much so. Just like mom.
Exactly.
Yep.
So circling back to what I was talking about earlier, though, too, and I'm going to have Terry start with this one, but when you're talking to a 16-year-old female or a 30-year-old male or a 60-year-old male, you have to you're handling all those conversations differently,
Oh,
right?
100%.
It's not you're kind of working towards the same end goal, get the club face square at impact and get the golf ball launching and going straight, but like how you're talking to them is so much different, and I think that is what separates a really, really good instructor like you two from somebody else who knows just as much about the golf swing. Because there's lots of instructors that know about the golf swing. There's lots of great doctors that are brilliant. They don't have a good bedside manner, right? So that bedside manner and knowing how to talk to someone is just a huge part of your job, right?
Right.
And you learn that over time. Right?
Correct. It's how you relay the information to like you're saying, a high school girl, a mid-aged woman, 65-year-old gentleman like myself.
Yeah.
It's built around, basically strength, flexibility, injuries. As we get older, we lose flexibility.
Right. Their physical capabilities, literally.
Yeah, I'm not obviously capable of what I'm doing now at 64 as I was at 20. That's
Not the
life,
same.
right?
Yeah.
It's just life. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the idea of the conversation is different with every individual, and again, it's built on what their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish, and then the idea, how do you relay that information in a golf swing, what they want to try to achieve. Correct.
Yeah.
So, if they're a big slicer of the golf ball, left or right, and they want to straighten that out, physically, what are they able to do?
Right.
How do you relay that to them and get their path and their face angle a little more squared up so they hit a little straighter?
Right.
That's the hardest part of the game, I would say, is taking each individual and working with them on an individual basis. There are no two golf swings the same. We all know
Nope.
that
Right.
as
Correct.
instructors. And,
Correct. Yeah.
so the
Like a
idea,
fingerprint.
No.
Right.
It's your
right.
DNA. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't swing
it's-
DNA.
100%. So it comes down to the goal of the individual and what they're after, and I feel like everybody's treated separately,
Yep.
and that's the way you become a good instructor. I mean, it's relaying information-wise, and again, you still have to make it fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't,
That's why golf costs money. It's supposed to be fun.
We're having fun.
We're having fun. This is fun.
Right. It's such a frustrating game.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the funnest, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much
It's
fun.
the greatest. You get to go out and enjoy 4 hours or 2 hours with family or friends or whatever.
Yes.
You can go play anywhere in the world.
Or somebody you don't like and beat them. That's fun.
You and Andy, right? Family competition.
Well, I like Andy. I just want to beat him.
Right,
That's
true.
right.
But the idea is, you can go anywhere in the world and play the game and have a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about. If they can go have fun,
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
you're trying to
And,
teach them. what
and
they
Jeff,
can
I think
Yeah.
you did a really good job. Of course, I met you at a much younger age than when I met Terry,
Yeah.
as far as your age.
Yeah.
And I think you've done a really good job with that. And I think that you're a product of your dad's such a personable, likable guy. I think I don't know your mom. I think I've met her, but I know your dad very well. And so, like, would you say he was one of your biggest influences, or kind of like who did you learn that? I'll call it bedside manner, for lack of a better term. Who did you learn that from? Like, was Terry part of it, or my dad, or your dad, or like who would you relay that to? It's kind of your personality to begin with, but like how you got so good and made it onto the Golf Digest Best Teachers and all that. Like, who would you say were your biggest influences?
Yeah, for sure, my dad, no question. But I think there's a lot. It's a loaded question, probably because there's so many people.
Right. Laundry list.
There's a laundry list of people that would be here all day. If I
You learn a little from this. A little
yeah, I
from
learned a lot of different things from a lot of different people. People in the business, outside of the business. But yeah, you do look at a lot of. I mean, I've said that a lot of how you're raised, is just listening to people and engaging with people. I'll shut up and listen to you. And what do you want? What do you want? And how can I help you? I mean, we're still in the service business, right? And so the service business is not about what I want to necessarily impress on you, but what is it that you want, and let me help you get that, and let's talk about that together. Let's have a conversation about that together, And I think any conversation is better, that way. So
Yeah.
Sorry not to bring up a list of. I could go through a lot of different things,
A bunch
and,
of names, but
different
yeah.
people, but that's been part of it. So
Yep. Completely agreed. And with age and maturity, you just kind of pick this, pick that, and you just keep moving through. And I've said, like, Andy Reinster that used to work here, right? One of our probably knows the least of anybody we've maybe ever hired as far as the golf swing goes.
Yeah.
But what he was so good at was he would ask the customer what they are looking to do, like what do you currently use, like kind of the full interview, which is why you don't have any packages on your website, because you want to get to know them first. You want to make it kind of intimate, and like, I want to get to know you and like figure out what makes you tick, and like what's going to work best for you.
That's
'Cause
right.
what's going to work best for E is not going to work best for Caitlin, and
That's right.
they just, he wants to be really, really good. She wants to just go out and have fun and have 2 or 3 drinks in the course and playing a scramble and enjoy golf,
Yep.
and I don't know if that's true or not, but whatever. I'm kind of assuming, but whatever. It's like what I want to do. So yeah, it's all different, and I think that's a huge portion of it. What Andy Reinster is so good is when he would just talk to these people and say, the guy goes, "I'm looking for a 3-wood," and you go, "Okay, what would you like? Like what are you after? Well, I normally can't hit a 3-wood in the air, and it always bends to the right. Okay, let's go a little higher loft, a little softer shaft, kick it up in the air, and keep them going to the right." So knowing the most, or figuring out what they need, knowing them. I've always said the best car, the mechanic knows more about the car than the salesman.
Yep.
Right? But the salesman's the guy who's selling it to
so
you.
true.
So, because he's trying to figure out what in the world car you need.
Yeah.
You've got a daughter that's about to drive. You want good gas mileage. You want a safe car. You want something that's not going to break down, reliable. Like, you need these things. And then you got, you just need a winter beater. Okay, I'll just find you a winter beater. Or I want to spend $10,000. What's the best car I can get?
right.
All those kind of things is just that's really what goes into it. And
Yeah, I think it starts with that, and then the part that you're saying. So you got the personable bedside manner that you come across, but then then it does come down to, like, are you going to actually be able to structure something that does help them? Because it's going to, at the end of the day, I think Terry and I would agree that you just go, am I helping you
yeah,
reach your goals?
right.
And that's it. That's what you always are keeping in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you say that Andy has a great bedside manner?
yeah.
I mean, smile on his face and ready to
He's
go, upbeat all the time.
What I think is so good about him, and I think it's the same thing that's so good about you two, and I've said this to the staff 1,000 times in our employee meetings that we have once a month, is unassuming. You have to be unassuming. You cannot go in there, and I tell the sales guys all the time, like, don't make it about what you want it to be. Let it be what they want it to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're in the service industry, like Jeff said. Like, too many people are like, well, you know, I play Titleist Pro V1 golf ball, so everyone should play Titleist Pro V1. That's not true.
No.
That's not true. Is it the best ball made? I don't know.
Maybe.
Most of the pros play it,
Maybe
so
not.
maybe.
Yeah.
Odds are, but is it the best for everybody that you're giving fittings to or you're giving lessons
Probably
to?
not.
Probably not.
Probably
You're probably
not.
killing yourself with this ball, sir.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from Pro V1, you know, buy it, play it,
Yeah.
you know, enjoy it. If you like it, use it. Who cares?
Yeah.
But it's different for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So like when you guys are doing fittings, you guys have noticed different things work for different people, and you probably deal with someone who just, I want to hit it further.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you probably have had lots of those people, and then you probably had the guys that I want to hit it straighter.
Yep.
Then you've had probably meek people that are like, I just want to get it in the air.
I just want to hit it.
I just want to hit it. Right?
Contact.
I want to stop whiffing. So, like, how do I get it in the air? And a lot of people are afraid to hit the ground, right? Like, you're dealing with all sorts of different stuff. And I don't know, do you still deal with much of that entry level thing?
Oh
or
yeah, absolutely I do. I still have beginners. I love working with beginners.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a ton of fun. They're the ones who improve the quickest and the fastest, and they
Right.
get most excited about
Right,
it. you
right,
know?
yeah, because if you got your buddy Kyle Blackport or Ricky Schultz, it's a little harder to improve on them.
A little harder to improve.
They're already really good.
They're really good. They're really good.
And then of course the X factor is you still have to putt.
Yeah.
So if you can't tell the ground sloping like this, you ain't gonna make the putt. Like you got to be able to read, like see how your left foot's lower than your right. That's because the ground's
That's just because you're wearing one shoe.
yeah, exactly. Put your other shoe on. That would help. So yeah, fittings, it's a wider range. Lessons, it's a wider range. And I love that women are getting involved in the sport. I love that just the growth of the game has just been so beautiful. I think we're maybe tapered off a little bit, but golf is healthy. I mean,
Used to be, well, we all grew up in what golf stereotypes were.
right.
And a lot of those stereotypes have been broken for the better.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Right?
We didn't need it
Because
to be an old rich white guy.
nope, that's what it was.
Exactly.
That's what it was. And it just, I'm so glad that there's so many more people that
Well,
play
Tiger came through and broke the mold, right? And
Yep.
thank God Tiger's
yeah.
multiracial and all the things and
Yep.
and he was tough, right? I mean, he was mentally tough. Like what he did for the sport of golf, as far as just opening up all these doors, was great.
Huge.
right? And I think it was a master plan by somebody that's a lot higher powered than what we are. So that was awesome. And then the COVID boom in my life, and probably your guys, it's even bigger than what the Tiger Woods boom
I
was.
think it was.
As far as getting people into the sport. What
it
Tiger
was.
Woods did was rip down a bunch of walls, and
Yep.
then COVID boom took it to a whole different level, which was really fun because everybody got outside and put
Yep.
their phone down and went and enjoyed outdoor activities
Yes.
again and realized golf actually is fun, and
Yeah.
you can suck and still have fun. Like
Yep.
who cares?
Yep.
You can. Like there's a video I saw the other day of some little girl, and I talked about it a couple podcasts ago. Some girl made her first par ever and ran over off the green and gave her dad a hug, and like it's just there's so many, just everyone has a different milestone, and it's so nice to see, and
Getting better than that.
it doesn't get any better than that.
The drive, chip, and putt has been such a cool thing to see develop over the years.
Brilliant, right?
Opportunities for kids to do that. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's literally just hitting good shots without playing a full round of golf.
Yep.
Right? And even like Top Golf, which Callaway grossly overpaid for, but the Top Golf is fun. Like
Yeah.
you can take a total. Matter of fact, I just came from the amazing shake at Granville Intermediate, 5th and 6th graders. That's why I was late. Sorry, Terry, Mr. Time Frame. I do what I want to. No, I'm just kidding. But this one, they were like, "What do you do for a living?" That's one of their questions, right? Because they got like 5 icebreakers because they're in 6th grade. And I was like, I actually own a golf course. I'm in the golf business. Like, oh, really? That's cool. The girl goes, I did Top Golf. I go, oh, did you? She goes, yeah, we do Top Golf like once a year with my uncle and my cousins go. And I was like, oh, do you like it? She's like, I love Top Golf. It's so much fun. I was like, you ever played golf? She's like, no.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
okay. Like that's your experience with golf. It's like a full-sized video game.
Totally.
And it's awesome.
Yep.
And you just hit a shot.
Yep.
And then you go back and eat a tater tot or a chicken wing.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever,
that was
and then you hit another shot.
golf for her,
Yeah, that's the sport.
I want to share a quick story.
Yeah,
like
tell
I had a gal was taking lessons. She was very beginner. She wanted to play with her husband and her son and keep up, right? So she was learning. She was hitting her woods okay. could get the ball off the ground because we'd put it on a tee, but she was struggling with the irons. So we're working towards it. But at the end of the lesson, I just said this. I said, listen, next time you go out and play, when you're in the fairway, just tee up your irons. Just tee them up.
Right.
Well, isn't that against the rules? I said, well, what rules? Right? I mean, by the USGA, right? What USGA events you're going to play in, you know? So she goes out and she does this, and her husband and son are like, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Well, my golf instructor said I could do this, so just back off." But the point being, and we eventually worked the tee down, so she could hit off the ground. But just little entryways into the game, whatever's going to help you enjoy it more in the beginning, do it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So.
Well, no different than yardages, right? Like if somebody's just getting into golf and you got a female, screw the tee markers. Just go tee it up at 150.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's or the 100.
Yeah.
Like they can't hit it that far. Who cares? The tee markers are a suggestion.
Yep.
You know, much like stop signs. No, I'm just kidding. Stop signs are disregard that. Stop at stop signs. But tee markers are a suggestion. Who cares about what tee you're hitting the golf ball from? Who cares about teeing it up or not teeing it up? Like so many people want to quote unquote play by the rules, and then they want to scrape 6-foot putts all day.
Right. Right.
It's not the same.
It's not to disrespect the rules of golf whatsoever. I'm all about the rules of golf, but I think at different levels, you know, this is still about having fun. It's a game.
Right. That's what it's all about. Is having fun.
And in my opinion, par is a suggestion too. Like you got guys. In my opinion, par for a lot of people is like 85 to 90.
Absolutely.
That's par.
Bogey.
Absolutely.
Double bogey.
Yeah, sometimes
Who
it's
cares
worse
as
than
long as
90.
you're having fun.
So like, well, this is a par. Like somebody said, is this a par 4 or par 5? I said, is it going to change how you play the hole?
Right.
Like it shouldn't. I hope. Like,
No.
I hope you're still playing it smart. Like if it's a par 4 or par 5, who cares?
Yeah.
Just hit the ball and try to make it in the hole as little as possible. Like number 2 at Maples, a kind of short par 5. Number 15 at Maples, a pretty legit par 5. It's
Yeah.
pretty long.
Yeah.
Number 9 at the Pines is pretty short. You know, like you can easily get on it too. But to different people, to the clientele that plays the Pines and plays Maple Hill, which is usually some older folks, some ladies, some kids, they're legit par 5s, and a par is a really good score on those holes.
Yeah.
And the green, like 9 at the Pines, has got a terribly hard green. The green's
Yeah.
mounded and awful. And
Well, and
tough,
even
so.
in part of our jobs too is to help people understand, even statistically, you know, some of those odds of like people. If you ask them, for instance, I'll give you an example. What would you say is the average make percentage, the best players in the world on the putting green from 10 feet? Just take a guess.
Oh, they were like, I just saw that. I thought it was maybe like 60-something%. Or
So a lot of people will say that a little higher than what it is. Actually, like 40%.
is it from 10
So from 10 feet, these are the best players in the world.
Right.
So wait a minute. Once I'm standing over a 10-foot putt, right, and I play once a week,
Yeah,
you know, on a beer league,
Right.
that maybe my expectation shouldn't be. I don't want to be pessimistic and think there's a 65% chance that I'm going to miss this putt. But when I do miss it, it's a coping mechanism to know well, this game is not easy, and so I think it's our job to help people understand. Whether, you know, it's par 4, par 5, why don't you treat this as, if you can get this on, if it's par 4, I can get on in 3 shots and 2 putt, you've done fantastic.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of tailoring down your expectations to reality. Because, one of the guys I just played with this past week in Florida, he's mad. And I'm like the 12th hole he's mad. I'm like, have you ever missed a 10-footer before? Because I just saw you do it the last 12 holes. How are you still mad? Yeah. Like, you just missed it the last 12 holes. You missed it on 13 and you're mad again. Yeah. Like,
we're not good enough to get back.
Hey, you know what? I love.
Frustrated once in a while, maybe.
Yeah, that's
but
okay.
Not mad. You're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
Where would you rather be than on a golf course with green grass, blue skies, and some friends or family?
Yeah.
Right? It's about relaxation.
It's hard to beat, man.
Right.
Yep.
It's hard to beat. And it's such
is.
a great sport, and it'll never be mastered. And like even I watched the baseball playoffs, and basketball started last night, and all these great things. All these sports have cool stuff, but what other sport has a hole in one?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
It's super hard to do. It's
Right.
outrageously rare.
Right.
And there's every element is a factor, right? The spin on the ball, the trajectory, the slope of the green, the grass, the air, the humidity, the density, the wind. All these different things are all factors. And that little tiny ball goes in that little tiny
And
hole.
how many people have had a hole in one that are above the handicap of 15?
Correct.
A ton of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How many do I have? 0. Right? 0. It's going to happen one
It's
day.
not why I brought it up.
You have to,
It's not why I brought it up. But Bob has 2 and Jeff has 0.
the idea the older you get, the better chance you have because you've played more rounds.
Yeah, you're just that old enough.
I've had 5. But
He's probably
Someday.
Now wait a minute. I
How's
really,
this
I really
taste,
should
Jeff?
say 4. I really should say 4. One happened in North Carolina. We were resodding the men's tee, and we had to play from the ladies' tee in a couples league. And I
Still
had a home run
counts.
from the ladies'
Still counts.
How far was the hole?
It was 110 yards from
Ah.
the ladies' tee.
Still counts.
It's fine.
It's in the hole. Par 3.
Yeah, exactly. You teed it up and hit it in a 1.
Right.
Do you discuss much of the mental side, like being mentally tough and forget the last hole? I'd imagine that's more with kids that are trying to
I
play
talk about it.
competitively. But
Go ahead, Terry. Go ahead.
No, I agree. That's a tough part of the lesson to get. And again, it's what type of player are you dealing with, right? How serious, how good do they want to get? How good are they now, and what do they expect to improve on?
Yeah.
So, better players know the mental side of the game and what they have to work at, right? You have to be able to. When you have a 3-putt, you got to be able to go over to the next tee and forget about it.
Shake it off.
Right?
Yep.
You can't think about that. You
can't change
you
it.
move on.
Just
right.
happen.
That hole's over. That shot's over. Right.
Yeah.
You hit a nice drive down the fairway and you miss the green in the left bunker. That shot's gone. You got to make a great bunker shot.
Yeah.
Right. Get it up and down for par. That's the hardest part of the game.
It is the hardest part of the game, and it's when there's a saying that's golf's mental, and it is. It's been around forever, and it's because it's true. And I talk about it all the time with my students about setting realistic expectations, expectation management, and that's a good coping mechanism for understanding that, like, part of the reason that you're getting so upset right now is because you don't really understand that the odds are against you, that you're going to do what maybe you're trying to do. So good misses. How do you hit it? How do you hit it? How do you miss it well? You know, talk about that all the time.
That's part of our lesson plan, is to teach people how to hit the ball better, but make it less frustrating.
Yes.
Right. And the less frustrating they get, then they don't get as mad as often.
So true.
Correct.
Yep. 100%.
So that's our goal.
You give me a guy who's mentally tough that is an 8 handicap, or a really good player who's a 5, but if he blows up, he spirals downhill. Give me the 8 that's
All
mentally
day.
tough
Right.
all day long.
Put him on my
He's
team.
going to keep on grinding, grinding, not going to give up.
Right.
And then you got guys that just have a bad hole and just this round's over, like. And I think that life is tough.
Yeah, that's right.
Like life is hard.
That's
so
right.
if you don't have a coping mechanism for life,
Yep.
golf is probably not going to be a real fun sport for you. And I think a lot of these kids need to learn that, and adults too, no question. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're kind of one and the same. But
Yeah.
I don't think we've done nearly as good of a job, or it hasn't been nearly as much of a focus as it should be with dealing with coping with adversity. There's going to be a
100%.
ton of adversity in your life.
Yep.
My kids all the time. My buddy's daughter got in a really bad car accident last night. She's fine, thank God. But her car got hit and flipped twice and landed on the hood and airbags, and she walked out of it unscathed, no broken bones, which was amazing. And I said, she's a really good driver. Somebody else wasn't.
That's right.
So, like, what did she do wrong? She did nothing wrong.
How was that
Somebody
fair?
blew a light, and they smashed into her car and flipped her car, and by the grace of God, she's fine. So that's adversity, right? Like, now you have to deal with that. That girl has to get back in that car today. That car is not driving today.
Yeah.
But she has to get back in a car and, like, understand that it's okay and you didn't do anything wrong, but you got to be tough and get back out there and do it again. And that's a bit of a harsh lesson compared to a 3-putt. But, I mean, it's kind of the same. Like, how mentally strong are you? It's like I've always heard you never failed until you've given up. And so I said, I've never failed in life. I've just had a bunch of life lessons. I've learned a bunch. It's not losing, it's learning. I love that line.
I think it has a lot to do with how much pressure individuals put on themselves.
Yeah, I think parents apply it some. I think people apply it to themselves more than they should, like which is
Background, right?
Yeah.
How, again, relating.
Yeah.
How do you relate to people?
Yeah.
Same thing. It comes from your background. The more laid back you are, right? I think the less pressure you feel.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you hit a bad shot, who cares?
Yeah.
Go get in the cart.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you look at Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Scotty Scheffler,
Right.
all very fierce competitors in different ways. Jack and Tiger were very much alike. Scheffler's different. He's got a whole different demeanor to him, in my opinion. But he's mentally tough, right? Like
Yeah.
Scheffler's unflappable. You couldn't tell if he just hit the lotto or if his house is on fire. Like
Well-
he just keeps walking and through life, and he just is smooth as silk. And Tiger was like, I just bogeyed that. I'm birdieing the next 3.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna attack this hole. And Nicklaus was like that. And they didn't want to win by 1. They wanted to win by 10. They wanted to set the scoring record. Like I don't care what you're doing. I'm gonna do this, and you're not. There's no chance you're gonna catch me. And I think that's what separates those 3 in particular.
Yeah,
you know, I think
for sure.
Rory's got that a little bit, and it's definitely rare. That's why there's not a ton of people on the
I mean,
list.
Scheffler's response is always kind of boring. You know, what do you know? What would you do? Well, I just stayed in the present. And, I just kept doing what I've been doing. It's like it's boring, but it's like, yeah, it's hard to do.
Right.
It's hard to do.
Right.
It's hard to be boring like
That's why
that.
there's
'cause
only one of him.
Yeah, he's actually doing that.
Right.
So.
And people are like, "Oh yeah," but Scheffler has a kind of a inner peace, calmness to him that I think is hard to find. And hats off to him. I love the guy. I think he's great. I think he could be a little more fun with the interviews, like you said, but I still love the guy. Is there anything else we should be asking him? You guys think anything else? If not, I got this mailbag question's pretty good.
We do want something to get your opinion on.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
we heard about
Fire.
yesterday. Can you see my computer screen? The top one?
Yeah,
So
everything's small.
Get your
Amazon
glasses.
just released their
Oh, yeah.
golf ball.
Yeah.
What do you think
Oh
on that?
wow.
Oh Lord.
Oh boy.
I'll take this one since
Take it.
I'm the golf
I don't
ball.
want to take it.
I'm the golf sales guy. Amazon releases Basics golf ball. That's a good name for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic, I'd imagine. So I'm sure they're not making it. I'm sure somebody overseas is probably making it, unless it's Bridgestone makes their balls in the U.S. and they do a lot of licensed stuff. I don't know. I don't know who's actually making it, but I consider that to be a bit of a money grab. What does it have the pricing on there?
24 for 24.16. 24 balls for $24.
I usually get what you pay for. So if you, I don't know.
Until
There's
it
a
goes
lot.
through the testing, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of startup golf ball companies that don't really last that long, and I don't know if Amazon quite understands that the golf buyer is a little more educated. So I don't know if they. But also, Amazon could probably afford to lose a few bucks and stay in business, so maybe it's not a bad idea. Like Kirkland, Costco did a really good job of vetting things and becoming kind of a golf store. They call them a golf store as a stretch, but it's not uncommon for people to go, "Oh yeah, I play a Kirkland ball," or Kirkland glove, or they tried putters and drivers and wedges and stuff like that. They even did those irons that TaylorMade sued them on, and Costco kind of built into it, which we could kind of see, and we knew some of the executives from Kirkland or from Costco, and they kind of asked some opinions and kind of did it right. I can't imagine Amazon did that same vetting. So good luck to them. Yeah, I don't think we'll be selling those anytime soon. $24.16 for 24 balls. Yeah, we can hit that price point. We can sell you way better balls. So avoid Amazon. We'll sell you something better for less. So that is interesting. I heard about it for half a second yesterday. So here's the mailbag question. This actually is good for both of you guys because maybe you guys have an opinion on this. Question from Facebook. The username is David Hall. So David, thank you very much for sending in the question. I want to talk on this first, and then I'll let you guys both say it as well. I've read in a few places the difference between good athletes and elite athletes is elite athletes feels and controls micro body movements. If you are a decent to good athlete, how can you train or learn to feel the micro movements? He says, I'm around a 6 to 7 handicap and have trouble sometimes differentiating body feel between good swings and not so precise swings. So let me take this one just for a second. And then I want you guys to answer, and then we'll move along to the final part. Me personally, I was having a hell of a time with chipping in that kind of touch feel, soft shots. And I was like, man, if I had and I'd be at Railside before league and I'd hang out with the guys and have a drink or two. And then I'd go out and be like, now I got it. Like all of a sudden my nerves are calm, and I'm not a nervous guy. I'm playing league forever. I don't care about that, winning, losing, who cares? But all of a sudden my nerves calmed down after having a couple of drinks. I was like, this is going to turn me into an alcoholic. And golf's going to ruin my life. Like more than it already has. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Moral of the story here is
So I was like, I got to learn how to do this just cold turkey, just playing golf. So I really, really focused. And for me personally, it was just practicing a ton. Right. I'd go hit the practice green and just start learning like what feel and what consistent motion I could make to get that golf club to perform like I wanted to without having to go to plan B, which I didn't like as much because I needed to go to work sometimes afterwards or whatever. So that's what I personally experienced was I went from one to the other and I just practiced really with purpose. And you guys both know Steve Chalsky, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
One of the
Very
best
much.
players at Railside.
Yeah.
He gave me a lesson on chipping, and he's one of the best chippers I know. And so he helped me out quite a bit. So I guess, Jeff, you can take that, and then Terry, you can add to whatever you think.
Yeah, I think the part about, elite athletes versus good athletes, I think, that's another terminology is just talent, right? So like Scotty Scheffler is just more engaged than me because he's just more talented than I am. And so whether I could reach a level like that is nobody ever knows, but what could help get David, you closer to that is saying, well, if I am going to figure out what I need to do, let's just say you slice the golf ball. Okay, so the club face is open. Okay, so but there are a lot of different things that will close the club face. So then you need to get with somebody who can help educate you on what that feels like. Mm-hmm. And once you have been engaged with what that feels like, via through a drill or just that instructor literally physically doing it with you, now you have to have a way of being able to repeat that over and over again with a drill with good feedback to then now the only thing that stands in the way of you being able to get better at that would be repetition.
Right.
And that's how I think you can, if you don't have, the talent, because everybody has a different talent. We can't measure that. Right. But everybody can get better.
Right.
Everybody can get better. And that's how I would suggest that your next step.
Straight up repetition and practicing the right
First
way. Figure out what you're doing and then figure out how to repeat that.
Because one thing I have to throw this in there because it does bother me a little bit when I hear, practice makes perfect. No, it just makes permanent. So you can actually practice and get worse. Like it helped to have Steve there to just show you a couple things, and then you can run with that.
Right.
It doesn't mean there can't still be trial and error on your part.
Right.
But that there's one perfect way of doing it.
Right.
But you got to have some sort of guidance of like, okay, try this, try that.
Yeah. Find what works and repeat it.
Yeah.
I will totally agree with what Jeff says, and I also believe when you talk about practice, and we say, people practice every day, but they don't change anything.
Right.
In order to get better, you have to practice either what you're being taught or what you're working on, one specific thing.
Yeah.
Right? So the golf swing, it's more about making it repeatable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The more repeatable it is with every club in the bag, then you become a better ball striker, right? Mm-hmm. Average players don't make the same swing twice. Mm-hmm. Either they're too close or the ball position is slightly different, too far forward, too far back.
Right.
They don't realize how much the basics make a difference.
So true.
Right?
So true.
I mean, you could, the best players in the world just work on alignment every day.
They do.
You have to know where the ball's going to go.
Because when you're hitting a 6-iron 190 yards, like
Right.
a degree offline is a pretty big deal.
That's right.
When it's going 190.
That's
like,
right.
If you're only chipping it, like 20 feet, a degree offline isn't going to make a ton of
No.
difference. But when it's hitting a full shot, it's
Right.
huge.
And the tour players are working on feet. Average players work on yards.
Right.
I mean, the average 12, 15 handicap, he's trying to hit the green. He doesn't know where or how, front, back, right, left. He just wants to get it on the floor.
That's right.
Right? That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But making that floor repeatable, or that swing repeatable, is the hardest thing to do. And I think Jeff and I have talked several times, obviously, about the golf swing over the years on the lesson tee together so much that you kind of build from the ground up, right? Lower body and then upper body. But again, finding those differences, it comes with practicing with a purpose.
Yep.
Choose one thing to work on
Yeah.
and work on that one specific move until you get it down.
Right.
And you could get better at that maybe specific move, but yet not have mastered it yet necessarily. But it is one thing at a time, because nobody wants to go out with 4, 5 different swing thoughts in their head when they're trying to play golf.
Right. And when it starts going bad, sometimes people are like, man, I got so many swing thoughts. Like,
And a lot of people overthink the game.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you can put the face of the club on the ball and get it in the air,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Getting it to travel in a straight direction
Yeah.
is the harder part of the game.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But it should still be fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's that's the name of it. One of my buddies in this summer's member guest, he said, he goes, I got about 8 swing thoughts in my head right now, and all of them start with don't. Well,
That's probably pretty typical, though. A lot of people.
right. I think a lot of people listening to this right now are
They
like,
can
oh,
relate.
I've had that before. Don't pull it back too far.
Yeah.
Don't shift into it. Don't cast at the top.
And don't hit it in the water.
Road left. Oh, Lord. Well, gentlemen, I can't thank you guys both enough for being here today. I got one last thing I got to talk about called the Maple Spill. And then we'll let you guys sign off here in just a minute. So we've got a couple cool promotions happening at Maple Hill right now. One really cool one that we've done pretty annual. We're starting it right now is free Launch Kitchen TrackMan fittings. So whatever you spend for your fitting, you get 100% of that back in a gift card. So basically you can apply it to the fitting. If you don't want new clubs after doing the fitting, which happens sometimes, you can still use the gift card towards anything that we sell whatsoever, including Christmas gifts or whatever you want. We're getting into that season. So it's now through November 27th. So kind of in our off season. Basically, your fitting's 100% free. Just pay for your fitting, get it 100% back in a gift card. Applicable towards anything that's driver, irons, putter, ball, full set, whatever fitting you want to do, it's covered. And the putter thing is one of the coolest things, especially this time of year. It's a good time to work on the putter fitting. And then this one, Mr. Matt Tucker, one of our store managers, just lined this up. It's pretty sweet. We're going to do a Tour Edge driver challenge. So Tour Edge has got a new driver out called the Exotics, which I'll be reviewing soon. Friday, November 7th from 3 to 7. Free 30-minute fittings, and everybody that shows up gets a free Tour Edge Exotics hat. So no matter what, your fitting's free and you get a free hat. Just sign up. We're basically testing your driver versus the Tour Edge Exotics new driver, which is actually a pretty good price point once again, and seeing if this thing can beat it. We think Tour Edge is going to win a lot because they got 3 beautiful, brilliant models here that are really sweet. Yeah, they do got a new logo, the TE. You might need to sue them. Yeah. Terry might have a pending lawsuit. Right. So that's pretty cool. That's November 7th, once again, from 3 to 7. So, gentlemen, your guys' friendship and professionalism and expertise and all the fun that we've had over the years is appreciated from both of you. Jeff, it's good to see your smiling face once again. I don't get to see you at Super Ton either, so
No,
it's good to see you too.
It's that time of year. Things
Yeah.
slow down a little bit, and
I'm gone all the time.
Side of the business, and you are gone quite a bit. But
Yeah.
that's good for you, right?
It's good for the whole staff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, appreciate you having us on here. This has been a lot of fun just to talk golf and talk about the things that we love. We love.
Exactly.
This is pretty cool that the 3 of us get to sit here and we've gotten to make a living with the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think we all feel very, very fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so, thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
and
it's an absolute pleasure,
and
gentlemen.
letting
I
us,
appreciate you.
chat with you about it.
Appreciate you both. And
Good to see you.
I guess until next time, new episodes drop every other week, so be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. If you have any questions for Terry or Jeff, you can put them on there, and we'll get your emails as well. Make sure we put their emails up there, and you can either email directly or you can just put it on your put it as a comment underneath. We'll ask these guys some questions, and I'll read off the answers on the air too. I'll be more than happy to do that for the next podcast in a couple of weeks or whenever we get around to that. I don't know what the content these two have got lined up. It looks like they're always up to something. So again, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. And signing off from the Hill Unscripted. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.